You guys have?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages, bring your beverages. It is a Wednesday night. It's 8:30, at least when we're, taping. If you're watching later, it might not be 8:30 for you. Maybe you don't have a beverage. Whatever. However you enjoy the outsiders, we're glad that you're here. We'll introduce the outsiders after we show you some nice camo. We are brought to you by PonchoOutdoors.com. If you're in a hunting state of mind, this is what you can go after. Some of those great flannels. PonchoOutdoors.com. Make sure you mention the Outsiders or Orange Bloods Live, whether you're looking for a double barrel, the Delta Cowboy, or maybe it's some of those kid shirts we've shown you. Maybe it's some of those other great long sleeves, some of the short sleeves. I sleep in a Poncho t-shirt as many nights as I can. As long as they're somewhat clean, I'm going to put one on and sleep in them because they're so damn comfortable. Looks like Bo's rocking a poncho. Jason, I think, is rocking a poncho tonight. We got it all over the place. And if you haven't tried one of those great, just like the hoodies or the long sleeve t-shirts, they're great too. PonchoOutdoors.com. All right, jump on in the chat. We'll get to you in a second. First, let's introduce the outsiders. We are in the 5-wide set tonight. The upper left is always the quarterback. He is Mach 5. He is illuminated by an arch public straight from heaven light. And he is 1 year older. Happy birthday, Chance Mock. Salute to you, sir.
Thank you. I made it another trip around the sun. Woke up on the right side of the dirt today. It's a good day.
That is very good. Happy birthday to Chance. What are we drinking, Chance, to celebrate your birthday?
So I'm sticking with my normal vodka and water and lime juice, but I was at the store today and I found this delicious, I don't know where it came from and why I've never known about this, but it's key lime juice.
Ooh.
And you find it in the beverage section of HEB, so it's like a sweeter lime juice. It's freaking delicious is what it is. I will never go back to regular lime juice again.
Man,
never.
There's a sentence I never thought I'd hear, but it's awesome. I'll never go back to regular lime juice again. That is awesome. I, too, am doing vodka and water. Shout out to Deep Eddie. I need some more peach vodka because I just finished off a bottle of it tonight. We got Blake, the super producer, right over here. He's going upper right tonight. Blake, the super producer, Kansas City Chiefs fan extraordinaire. What are we drinking?
Oh, just a little Jack and Coke, but I'm just reminiscing on a great weekend, a bad result in the Georgia game, but a great time at TCH Social watching the game with the fellas. So all good.
Yes, that is true. That is true. And before we move on to the other fellas, we can let everybody know that we are going to be doing a watch party for Texas and Clemson. It's going to look somewhat like this. There's our man Blake is in that picture. It's a Where's Waldo. Blake is in the picture, throwing his drink up to give you a cheers in this one, if you can find him. 183 and Anderson Mill will be there on the 21st for Texas and
Hey, Sukamel might even be there. Look at him.
Look at that. What's that? I mean, you got ATX Bates is in this picture. Barb's 10 is in this picture. Jason Sukamel and my wife are even in that picture. We had a good time last time. We'll have a good time next time. We always have a good time when we go to the lower right and talk to Jason Dick about drinking things. Jason Dick, what are you drinking?
Well, as I told you guys last week, I am just overcome with the Christmas spirit, all right? I am feeling jolly. I might go apply for a job as a mall Santa, and not just because I desperately need income, because I am into that, all right? I am into the merry season. So I have a Christmas soda. I don't know if y'all are familiar with a poppy, but when I saw the poppy, I was like, it's got some little baubles on there. I was like, let's go, man. Cranberry Fizz, prebiotic soda. I'm not totally sure what that means, but it sounds somewhat clinical. It's time to love soda again. Be merry, it says here. So here we go. Let's pop a poppy.
Jason Dick and a holiday soda, getting healthy, getting some probiotics in him, prebiotics, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does kind of taste like medicine.
Yeah, can you taste the biotics?
It tastes. Yeah. Can you taste the biotics? Is there a biotic taste to it?
It's prebiotic. I think I'm supposed to have this before I have the biotic. So I don't know.
Okay, it's
maybe that's the problem. I'm missing a biotic chaser.
I got
All right,
biotic for both of them.
I was going to say, it looks like Bo's got some biotic. In the lower left tonight, he's not only the country gorilla, but in that hat, he looks like he might have written Sex and Candy. Bo Edge, what are you drinking?
Well, I went by the local specs, as I hear you talk about all the time, to get some brown water for. I needed to stock up for the holidays, but then I couldn't decide which one to go with. So we got Weller in this one, and we got Maker's Mark in this one. Bigger, obviously, because I don't know why I had 2 cups. So we're going double barrel brown water.
Wow, double whiskey fist. That is serious. There must be a playoff coming. There must be a real.
Yes, there must be a playoff coming.
Must be a real.
And I feel like when I make the statement to the general populace that while most of our fan base thinks Quinn Ewers isn't good enough, the SEC coaches at least think he's second best. So
how about that?
I'm going to have some reinforcements for that combo.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers, second team All SEC. We could have a whole show maybe about who is or isn't in the All SEC discussion. Once again, a Stutzman over Hill happened, according to the SEC coaches and media and whoever else votes on that.
Quentin's second behind Arch. Is that right?
How dare you?
Did you
How
see?
dare you? Jackson
This
Dart
wasn't Jason's All SEC team.
Jackson Dart is the first team quarterback. Quinn is second team. Sorry.
So did you see Sankey's reply? Nash, who does a lot of posting on Longhorns, posted the stats side by side for Anthony Hill and Stutzman. It was like, he tagged Sankey and he said, "Hey, well, help me understand how this is the case. That the numbers aren't even close. Anthony Hill's numbers are so much better." And Sankey actually replied to the tweet and basically said each team gets to submit players that they think should be selected for all conference, and then the head coaches get to vote on it. So it's like it's what we expected. It's just the good old boy, hey, we got to get my guy.
We all know Danny Stutzman got a Lifetime Achievement Award from a conference he's only been a part of for 1 season, but that's all this was, because how the hell does Georgia not have linebackers in the first team? Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I get why Kevin Kennard from South Carolina gets in. Makes perfect sense. But how did Georgia not have a linebacker? Like, it's like the coaches didn't watch the defenses that kicked their ass all year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it was almost like, oh, he's not good enough. What'd you do against him? Well, we got 3, but he's not very good.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Oklahoma, who got ran up and down for days, I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm not going to I won't go through every single position and bitch. I will say this one thing. If you watch the entire season of the SEC and you still honestly believe Luther Burden is one of the best 2 receivers in that whole damn conference, I mean, come on. You got to be insulting someone. I haven't done the full deep dive to find out who you're insulting. You're insulting someone.
I don't know what is the more egregious slight at the safety position. That Michael Taft didn't make any of the 3 teams, or that Dan Jackson from Georgia was on the damn 3rd team. I'm sorry, but those are the 2 best safeties in the league this year.
Yeah. PFF had Michael Taft as the highest graded safety in the SEC. Number 1.
It's culturally biased. As Shaq said in Blue Chips, it's culturally biased.
that is it.
Wow.
A Blue Chip reference. Only 3 players on the defensive team total. That is true. And by the way, Big Cheddar had another question. Are we picking any games this week? The only FBS game is Army-Navy. So glad you asked, Big Cheddar. We are going to be doing a little extra heavy lifting. We're going to pick 4 games this week. We're going Army-Navy and 3 NFL games. For you guys, if you want to be the guest picker, you can just go 3 total. But we probably should have you do Army-Navy because it's America. So you got to go Army-Navy and 2 NFL games. Make your picks. Go spread, go over, under, whatever you like. Send us your 3 picks. And if you go 3-0, this is for Big Cheddar and everybody else. If you go 3-0, you'll get the poncho shirt of your choice. And you will only be the second one of our pickers to do it. Only one has done it all year. Bo, let me ask this. If we get to the end of the year and is it Darren, what was his name?
Randy Jones, who won a Darryl shirt.
That's it. That's why I mixed it up. If Randy is the only one at the end of this whole thing, does Randy get a bonus shirt for being the only one?
I wouldn't go all the way to shirt. That's coming out of our allotment, but we can come up with something.
Okay.
Maybe a
Fair
hat.
enough.
Like, I like my 40 acres, and I'd like to give one as a gift to somebody someday. PSA to those of you in Poncho Land who are looking at the 40 acres with the Longhorns, it will be sold out by the end of the week. So if you're giving it as a Christmas gift, the San Jacinto, the Darrell, the 40 acres, jump on it quick, because Alex Dunlap from Football with Friends already texted me. They're out of hoodies. I can't get hoodies.
No hoodies. Hey, there's been a run on poncho stuff. It is
I
good
literally
stuff.
emailed the poncho guys, and hopefully the hoodie thing will be solved next week. There's nothing they can do about burnt orange denim, though.
There you go. All right. By the way, $25 super chat already thrown in. Andrew, thank you. $25 drinking Brandy Alexander's with my son and DIL. What's DIL? A daughter-in-law?
I'm guessing
Daughter-in-law.
Chad,
There we go. Happy birthday, Mach 5. Thanks for another season, Outsiders. On to the CFP. Let's go.
Damn right.
Anybody a Brandy Alexander guy? Everybody?
I know. I'm hoping next year I'm a Bear Alexander guy. I don't know about no damn
Brandy. I think Brandy Alexander's cleaning up in volleyball NIL, from what I read.
If I'm not mistaken,
is she a housewife from one of the shows? Is Brandy Alexander like housewife of Dallas? Or
if I'm not mistaken, when John Lennon would get together with the Hollywood Vampires back in the day, I think that was his drink. I think John was a Brandy Alexander guy.
Yeah.
And would just drink them all night.
I feel like I'm a pretty accomplished alcoholic over the last 30 years of my life. I've never even freaking heard of a Brandy Alexander.
I think it's brandy and milk.
I've heard of brandy, like you use it to cook.
I think that's what it is. Y'all double check me. I think Brandy Alexander.
I'm Googling as we speak.
Google
with a
tell me if I'm right.
Stevenson next.
I think it's brandy and milk, which I'm into. I can do the milky drinks, but I don't know about brandy and milk. I've never done it.
Hey, it sounds delicious, actually.
Okay.
It's a
Uh-oh.
brandy-based dessert cocktail consisting of cognac.
Okay.
Are you back on Chance GPT to find this out?
No,
he did.
I went to Lugal, damn it.
Lugal. All right. If y'all want to send us a super chat, whether you're drinking or not, or describing drinks.
Next time you come up, Chance, you can make that and I'll taste it.
There you go. Y'all throw that.
Sounds really good.
You can instead of BYOB, bring your own cream de cacao.
Cream de cacao. Gentlemen, we're 10 days away from this game. And is it true? I still haven't looked it up. Texas and Clemson. Never played football before?
Never before.
Is that real?
And Andrew said he made his with ice cream and eggnog, which sounds even freaking better.
Oh, ice cream.
Yeah, Andrew's winning that.
Man, that's victory right there. Yeah. All right. So Texas by 11. We put it on the thumbnail because that's the line right now. Show of hands. Who thinks Texas is covering 11 right now?
I don't know a lot about Clemson, but I guess I would jump on board that. I know they.
Okay. Blake saying no, Chance is saying no.
I've seen Clemson run. Clemson look good against SMU because SMU can't stop anybody. Every game Clemson has lost this year, they've been abused by a defense. Georgia, when South Carolina, it wasn't abusive, but when South Carolina beat them, it was defensive. Clemson has a tendency, because they don't have an amazing running attack, that if you can make them one-dimensional, Klubnik can make mistakes. And I like Klubnik, and I know he's a local kid, and he's going to be an NFL guy. Klubnik sometimes throws 50-50 balls thinking his arm can win, and I dare him to do that against our secondary. That doesn't mean Clemson can't win the game. Like, hell, as soon as I threw the tweet up from the Outsiders camp, the first person responded, how are we supposed to win by that many? It was Cedric Griffin. I responded, Cedric, we just score more than them and they don't win.
That's how it works. Just for the record, Chance and Blake, a Texas cover, a win, but not a cover.
Yeah, I think Clemson it actually matches up well with Texas, and I think their defensive line is really good. That's shown Texas to cause some issues. So I think the issue is going to be putting points on the board. It's not that I think their offense is going to go up and down the field on us, but I just 11 points is a lot to cover with an offense that's not clicking right now against a good defensive line.
I wouldn't bet on it, but if you're asking me what I think happens, I think Texas wins by 14 to 17 points. Like, I think it will be close early, but eventually Clemson will make mistakes, because if you keep pounding your head against the wall trying to get to the other side, eventually sometimes you actually put a hole in your head instead of getting through to the other side. And I think Clemson will flinch. And I think Sark has proven over the course of time that with 2 weeks to prepare, him and Kwiatkowski can come up with some pretty creative stuff for a first half.
One of the things I have to admit about Clemson, it's normally a team I'll follow, pay attention to them, but Georgia put them out of my mind early on in the season. I kind of forgot about them. And then when it looked like they were out of ACC contention, I just kind of focused on Miami and SMU. And then I'll admit, because there were other rivalries that I was focused on, pretty obvious ones, I wasn't focused on Clemson and South Carolina that day. So I feel like I've missed them. Like, Bo, you were talking about their run game. They have an 1,100-yard running back, but to your point, their rush offense is listed, at 43. So it's all right. I mean, they're okay.
This is where stats can tell. Go look at the running backs game-by-game breakdowns. He's had some really good games, but when he faced Georgia, South Carolina, even Louisville was yes, you can put up huge stats. What's the receiver's name that did it in the first week from Arizona? McQuillan? I can't say. I'm not even going to try. He's an All-American from Arizona with 700 letters in his damn name. But he went for 313. Well, you know what? When you look at his season average, it's going to look, or season total, it's going to look really good because of the 313. Look at how they fared against, Texas's stats against Mississippi State and ULM, while they count in the stat line, aren't the same as stats against Georgia. Troy Wisner ran the hell out of the ball against Kentucky. We saw what happened against Georgia. It matters what happens when you're going against teams that are – we've reached the Final 12 now. I don't care what you say. Everybody in the Final 12 has athletes, and everybody in the Final 12 can play because they've all won at least 9 games against Division I opponents to get there. So now it's a matter of whose stars and whose schemes can outperform the other team's stars and schemes. And I like our stars better against Clemson. Clemson has good players. They have 5-star guys, a lot of them. But I don't like where their team is at versus where our team is at. And that's why I think in the end, the depth of Texas, because Clemson ain't exactly an NIL type of power. That's when the Lolays and the Nortons and these guys that were brought in on the defensive front wear through in the second half, and that's why Texas wins by double digits.
Clay throws a super chat at us, $4.99. CFP tickets arrived today. That's very cool, Clay. Let's go. What's the scouting report on the Clemson defense? Do we have a chance to bully them? Bo, you were just kind of talking about it a little bit. Is that essentially what Georgia did to him? Just bully him, push him around? Or was Clemson awful, or was it both? I turned that game off week 1 because there were more important games to watch by the time it got to half.
It was also week 1.
It was 2 different teams at that time of the season.
Okay.
Georgia's defense bullied them. Georgia's offense didn't exactly run roughshod over Clemson. They just kept getting in plus positions, and Carson Beck ran it pretty well. And once the score got out of hand, yeah, it looked like bully ball. You're not going to bully Clemson's front 7. Sorry. Their front 7 is as good as anybody else's in college football. They have a lot of dudes. We're not going to be able to just run it down their throat. But you know what they kind of lack? The back end of the secondary. One of the reasons why? The best guy in that secondary is sitting in Austin right now, and Andrew Makuba. He saw the writing on the wall, the people that he was going to be surrounded with, and decided to come home because he found a better home. Much like Jason did when he moved to Manor. Way to go, Jason.
There it is. We got a couple pickers already in for the games. Remember, pick Army, Navy, and 2 NFL games for you guys to be our guest picker. We'll get you our picks coming up here in just a second.
Can they pick Army, Navy twice? Could they
What's that?
Could they pick Army, Navy twice? Pick against the spread and then the over-under as well?
Nope. Can only use it once.
Okay.
There you go, Coach Lou Holtz. By the way, since the chat already broke the news, congratulations to the next Lombardi Award winner in DKR.
Who's that? What happened?
Kelvin Banks.
Oh, yeah.
Kelvin Banks. Well, he won it?
He won it.
Oh.
Or at least 6 different chatters told us he won it. I'm not watching it at present, but I'm
Can confirm.
Very nice.
Chris Bennett has never told a lie. So if Chris Bennett says it's so, then it's so.
Especially if it's about a Longhorn football player doing something. Chris Bennett is not going to lie
about that. He sends out crap about movies from the 60s, and it's like, dude, you're awesome.
All right, so we started our postseason picks last week. We'll give you the updated tally because somebody that you're looking at right now got off to a hell of a start. We'll let you know who that is.
Jason.
There's you never know. You know what? We'll all be like fighters. Everybody will do this, and then we'll tell you who's actually right coming up here in just a second. But
first, they say, boom! I bring the boom.
Hey, technically, Chance and Jason had the same record. Just one of them was inverted, Top Gun style.
Let's talk.
We were
not the Costco guys, Chance.
Inverted. Let's hear from Covert Ford. Truck first, then Bo. Here we go.
Gear up for game night with Covert Ford of Austin. All season, we're bringing the football fun to you with unbeatable deals on our all-new Ford F-150s. Whether you're tailgating with friends or cruising to the big game, our powerful trucks are your perfect MVP. Come experience the rugged performance and cutting-edge features that make every drive an experience. Touchdown savings await at Covert Ford of Austin, a family tradition since 1909. CovertFord.com.
Covert Ford, right there on 183. Actually going there later this week to visit my boy, Chris Abbott. You can always find him right on the floor. Him, Kenny Covert, walking around. They will help you get the deal on the vehicle you need to make Christmas special. Whether you have a teenager in your life that needs a new vehicle, whether you want to surprise your significant other with that Raptor, with that F-150, with that Bronco. They have the Raptor Broncos. They have the Mustangs. They have the Expeditions. You name it, they got it. And they have the service department that can take care of you even after the sale. Covert Ford, closed on Saturdays so you can watch football. Open on Sundays because Lord knows you don't need to watch the Cowboys anymore. It's Covert Ford right there on 183. Go see Chris Abbott.
Hey, easy on the Cowboys, okay? We have won two in a row. And then if you just knew the rules of football and block punts, well, it could have been 3. All right.
Jeez, Bo, what did the Cowboys ever do to you? I know it wasn't football. Come on.
Go. Have fun at your Titans watching party.
Oof. I grew up an Oilers fan. I hated the Cowboys. I had to go through high school when all the Cowboys did is win every single damn Super Bowl. So every friend I had that was a Cowboys fan shoved it down my throat for 4 years. The only time I rooted for the Cowboys was there was an era when Tony Romo, I actually liked Tony, and that Cowboy fans showed their true colors and dogged him out when he was one of the best quarterbacks to ever don the star. So I rooted for Tony Romo. I never rooted for the Cowboys.
Well, let me say this. As somebody that I could care less about the Cowboys, I actually felt bad for Micah Parsons and caught on camera, and it looked like he was about to cry. Like he was like, and then he just felt bad for him.
Because he realized his coach is Jabba the Hutt, and the owner may keep him because it's easier.
Whoa. Yeah, there's a word for that, Chance. It's called pathetic, is what that was.
I will say this: future Dallas Cowboys head coach Jason Witten just won his second straight Texas high school state championship.
Is that right? All right.
Argyle Liberty Christian. Yep.
How about that? All right, let's take a look at these updated standings. Look who got off to a fast start, kids. Chance, Mock, would you like to explain your greatness to the people?
Well, I mean, I figured we got done with the with the season, so I retired Chance GPT and decided to go with just Chance. And look what happened.
I mean, dude, I just I'll let as horrible as that robot you hired was. I just want to let you bask in this for a second. I mean, that's impressive stuff, dude. Well, I mean, well done. Well done.
Thank you. I look forward to sharing my picks with you this week and advancing to probably a good 9-1 next week.
Yeah. Oh, see, you're confident. He's confident. He's going 4-0 this week. All right. I guess that means it's pick time. And look, it just so happens he ends up in the big box first.
What in the Furby is going on in the box next to me?
This is my Razor got this hat, so he wanted me to wear this Lucky Panda hat when I made my picks.
But
Nice.
it doesn't even fit.
Panda
Because
picks.
it's Razor's hat.
All right. Panda
My
picks.
hat is gigantic.
Panda picks will be next to last tonight. Chance Mock is starting us off. It's the Mock 5 birthday week picks. What do you got, Chance?
First, America's game, one of the games that's on my bucket list, and I cannot wait to attend. Army-Navy, I'm taking the over. I think 38.5 is a little low for that game. I think that could easily be a game that's, a 24-20 type game. I like it. I'm going with the over. Now, with the NFL, Houston, they're missing a linebacker because he wants to try to kill people. They're missing safeties because they're injured. They've got an offensive line that can't get out of their own way. And right now, Tua's playing well. Now that Tua's back, he's playing well. They're spreading the ball around. They look really good. I like Miami as a dog in this game, big time. Buffalo, Detroit, I'm going under 54.5. You've got two really, really good offenses. Not so fast, my friend. The way that Buffalo got embarrassed last week, one thing about Sean McDermott is great after a loss. He adjusts very, very well after losses. And that defense will be much better. Detroit's got a very nice defense as well. I think this is one of those 21-17 type games. It's probably not a big, high-scoring ball game. So I'm taking the under there. Pitt and Philly, and come on. Russ, if George Pickens can decide he wants to be a human being and join the Pittsburgh Steelers and play on Sunday, this is an easy over. But even if he doesn't play, I still think it's an over. Both those teams will score. It's going to be great.
By the way, only bad news about those two games, they happen at the exact same time. So God love Red Zone and switching back and forth, because I wish I could sit and watch every bit of both. Those are really interesting games this weekend. By the way, real quick, before we go to the next picker, does anybody else think Bo looks more evil with the panda on his head? Because panda looks nice, but Bo looks meaner when he stares at me. It's freaking me out.
Wear that on the same block of a school, they'll call the cops, I swear to God.
Bro, I know. I've been watching this series on the ID channel called Very Scary People, and I've watched The Son of Sam, and I watched, Jonestown. Like, Bo looks like he would be on one of those episodes.
It looks like Jason's right. It looks like a guy somebody called because he's too close to a school. Like, it's not. Okay,
just because I look like Lenny from Mouse or Men with my hat, I like it, and it's warm.
Did he just say from Mouse or Men? Is that what he just said?
Of Mice and Men, you literate.
Classic book, From Mouse or Men. It's a classic. Y'all should read that if you haven't had a chance. All right, here we go with my
gist of what I was saying, you assholes.
I picked second. I think America's going over. Why would I say America goes under? America goes over 38.5. I think Army wins the game, but sometimes you never know on that. Let's say they throw some points up. These two can actually do more than run the ball now. This might be a theme, but I'm a Cowboys fan, and I've seen a lot, and I've watched, and I kind of get feels from certain games. And after the Overshown injury, and Chance talked about Micah Parsons. I mean, could you be a more defeated leader than moping off the field with 11 seconds to go and then spending the entire time with the media saying it's not fair, something's not fair, we're just not being treated fairly? I'll take Carolina -2.5. Pittsburgh +5. Love this pick because I see either team winning by a field goal, and I win either way there. Give me the Steelers +5 on the road, and I don't know why, but I'll lay the points on Monday night. I think the Bears have been undone ever since that Hail Mary thing. I trust that Minnesota can win by 10 or more. I think it's around 10, 12, something like that. So I'll lay the points with Minnesota. I might feel stupid on that one later, but that's what I'm thinking right now. Blake, the super producer, is next, and since he's a Chiefs fan, let's see if he wants a Chiefs game. Blake, what do you got?
I ain't touching the Chiefs. They haven't covered a spread in 7 games. But I am taking Army -6.5. I've been watching them all year. I've watched every Army game this year. I really like the way they play, and that I really like their defense as much as I like their offense, and I think they're going to take care of Navy. And then 2 over, I think probably competitive games here. Tampa Bay and the Chargers seems like a really fun game, really underrated game for this weekend. So I'm taking the over 45.5 there. And 43.5 seems low when you got when you got Washington on the field. So I think they probably take control of that game against New Orleans, and that hits 43.5. And then for the same reason you picked it, Chad, Pitt +5 or +5.5 against Philly, field goal game.
Yeah, that feels right. Yeah, I'm
such a weird line.
Totally with you. It's strange.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I can't believe it's 9-2.
That's all I can say. They're normally better than we are.
Yeah, I'd say they don't build the casinos on credit. All right, let's go to Panda Picks. Make sure your children are in bed for this one, kids. Here it comes. What do you got, Bo?
I'm trying to spread some holiday winter spirit, and it was cold outside, so I was wearing a regular beanie, and you guys suck as friends.
But not as child protectors.
No.
Not as child protectors. We will call CPS quickly.
Bo's not allowed within 1,000 feet of a school.
That's not true. But as soon as the picks are done and my lucky penguin hat comes off, it won't be back on near a school. I can assure
It's
you
not
that.
a penguin. It is a panda.
Or panda.
Right.
Army,
For
Navy,
penguins
over
and
just
pandas.
I think Army scores the 38 on their own. Like, I just don't. Army's better than Navy. Navy's kicked their ass for 10 straight years, basically. I think Army's going to exert some revenge this time. Army over. I don't disagree that your coach in Buffalo does come back after losses, but the coach in Detroit is a man on a mission. I'll take the Fighting Dan Campbells to win again because I think he'll have a game plan for Josh Allen. I just hope Josh doesn't get hurt and derail your season. I'll take the Fighting Anthony Richardsons in Denver. I don't think Denver gets by in these close games, and Anthony Richardson is the king of the backdoor cover where they'll score a touchdown when they're down 10. That doesn't make a damn bit of anything, but he gets it in to cover the 4. And I'm sorry, New England is no good. You can flash your lights all you want, Chance. New England is no good. I'm not going to have a seizure. Kyler Murray lights them up. Done. Bye, Penguin hat.
Bo picking panda. Chance flashing the light.
Why I keep calling it a penguin either?
Fantastic. All right, there are Bo's picks. That means there's one more set of picks to get to, and it's Jason Dick. He's bringing up the rear, but he's never at the bottom. What's up, Jason?
I tell you what, this picking last thing is bullshit, all right? I have to sit around for like 20 minutes and listen to you guys yammer on before I even also, 1 and 5, I demand a recount, okay? Stop the steal. I was all week long, I was saying being the 5 seed is an easier path to the national championship, and then I picked Texas. That doesn't sound like something I do. I don't know about this one.
You're also the 5 seed in the rankings at the moment, so maybe you're in the right spot.
Thank you, Blake. Thank you.
Wow.
That was a good one. That was good for you. Army Navy, what an incredible college football tradition. I did a lot of breakdown on this one, guys. Studied some film, a lot of analysis, but basically it came down to this. One of my best friends, Matt, was in the Navy. All right, he's actually my tailgate partner. You guys have met him, Chance, Bo. Great dude. He is one of the laziest, most absent-minded, unreliable friends I have. So give me Army -6.5. It's the only pick I got right last week. Go Army. Be all you can be because you didn't go to Navy. All right, to the NFL, where Carolina -2.5. I believe this is the first time they've been favored in the history of the franchise, maybe. But it does go back a couple years.
Jake Delhomme says, no chance, sir.
Goes back a couple years. Laying less than a field goal versus my Cowboys. They hung with the Eagles, hung with the Chiefs the last 2 weeks, 2 of the best teams in the NFL, and the Cowboys are not that. Bryce Young might not be the disaster we thought he was. More on that in a second. I'm going to take Miami +3 at Houston. Were you on that too, Chance? Good call, my friend.
Yeah.
Miami with Tua is a different team. Miami, this is kind of a must-win for them. Houston has no more must-wins because they play in the AFC South. And here's another secret. Houston, not great, okay? They have 2 good wins, Buffalo, and if you think the Rams are good. But there's a lot of Colts, a lot of Jags wins in there, and they lost to the Titans and Bears, all right? Also, CJ Stroud, Are we sure? Last year we were convinced he was better than Bryce Young. Are we sure that C.J. Stroud is the best quarterback from that draft? Are we sure?
He has regressed. I will say that.
Well,
I like how Jason's voice goes up. Are we sure that?
Are we sure? And then Cincinnati.
The other thing's an act.
Cincinnati -5 at your Tennessee Titans, Bo. If I got the chance to bet Joe Burrow versus Will Levis, I don't care what the number is. This is not an arm wrestling contest, right? I will take the Bengals -5 in that one.
So there you didn't realize they switched it over this week. They're not going to play football. They're going to see who can eat the most copious amounts of mayo. Titans win. Titans win.
It's a mayo eating contest. All right, there are
Dukes. It's done.
There are the picks. We will go back to normal formation, which might be a good idea because, Bo, is that a third hat? What is this, the Eras Tour? How many times are you going to change clothes tonight?
I'm switching hats. Well, you were making fun of the panda, so I grabbed my Rose Bowl hat from when Texas won the national championship. I bought this off a street hustler right outside the Rose Bowl. So this is,
Okay. All right. I'm just
I have
checking.
a plethora of hats.
I want to make sure we're showing off your costume changes if that's something you want to get into. If you'd like to become that guy on the show, we'll do it.
No, it's just an odd night. I mean, I'm double barreling the brown water, and I was wearing a damn panda that I was calling a penguin or whatever the hell.
Double barrel brown water panda hat night. That's a rough night right there. It's
a lot better than Chug a Four Loco or Beatbox night. So I'm in.
Yeah. It's got to be.
Wait, we're off the Beatbox. You were so excited about Beatbox a week ago. You were buying Beatbox stock like it was the hottest thing out there.
I'm not degrading Beatbox. They're a local Austin company, and if they want to send me a crate of Beatboxes, I will drink them. But as far as just my drink of choice, blue raspberry Beatbox, not so much.
Okay. So did it treat you well? Like it wasn't some kind of weird hangover fruity beverage, was it? It was all right.
Hangovers? That would be, if I got hangovers, it'd be really bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Chance knows this too. Like I don't get hangovers. Drives people batshit crazy, but
yeah, Bo just gets another whiskey. That's all he does. Just gets a third whiskey. He didn't get hangovers.
It has happened.
All right, before we get back to football talk, gentlemen, I think we maybe have a super chat or two that's come in as well. Why don't we talk a little Last Stand hats? That's right. And you know what they got going on right now? They got UTSA stuff going on right now. Look at this code, Birds Up. They want to celebrate their new relationship with UTSA, and they're doing it with the code Birds Up. You get 20% off your order. They have all kinds of cool, all these cool hats. You got some 210, right? Little area code action. Look at this one with the Texas state flag on it. That's nice. This is my favorite of the week right here, guys. This is UTSA. This is Grandpa Roadrunner, Grandson Roadrunner right there. There's Grandpa's hat, grandson hat. You see him walking down the street in San Antonio to a game. And if you go up here to the universities, look at all the universities. You will not find mine. Don't hold your breath for that one. But right up top, Longhorn fans, you've got your guys. You've got your hats. There's so many cool ones. The one I wanted to show you is the one I call the Daryl or Gus. There's your Daryl, and that's a Gus. You can go and be Daryl or a Gus. It's like the Sex and the City, right? Are you a Samantha or are you a whatever the hell the other name is? Are you a Daryl? Or are you a Gus? That's all you got to find out. Go to Last Stand Hats. Check it out. The True Fans brand. If you want to get one of those outsider hats, you can do it. There's 12 different designs. LastStandHats.com. UTSA fans, Birds Up for 20% off.
Chad, the team that you're looking for, they're with a company called Never Stand Hats or Never Win Championship Hats. You figure out where the website is.
Wow.
Hey. How dare you? How dare you? I'm just
on the grass hats.
Just telling people.
OU just had 5 wide receivers all go to the portal this week. Mm-hmm. And, so y'all need receivers. You could just take OU's receivers.
Well, I was going to ask you guys, y'all want one of those guys? You want one and maybe that tight end too?
Tight end, maybe. The receivers, no. We got plenty of receivers.
Okay. You don't want any of them.
For long, I don't want Micah Hudson. I don't want any
Nick Anderson. Nick Anderson's a pretty good receiver.
Huh?
I'd take Nick Anderson. Like if the Aggies want Nick Anderson, I'm all for it.
You're probably going to get him because they're going to all start looking College Station way, and they can get paid there. And like I said, y'all have a definitive need, just like Texas is going to have to go buy half the country's defensive lineman stock next year with all the people that are portaling for the D line and all the people going to the draft.
Yep.
A&M's got to go buy receivers, and y'all have the money to do it. And I think you're looking at OU. I think you're looking at Jonte Cook. I think you're looking at Micah Hudson, who was a tremendous talent at Lake Belton. Like, the Aggies are going to reload receivers quickly. My only question is, because I think for them, this is the indicator where Elko and Colin Klein, what they truly feel about Marcel Reed. Because if they don't go chasing a QB in the portal, as more and more guys go hit the portal, it means that they're 100% in on him. Right, wrong, or indifferent, if they don't go portal a quarterback, then that means he's their guy, and they're going to go load up with talent around him.
Man, I have a hard time, and this is where the money thing is really makes me laugh. It doesn't bother me. I mean, it is what it is. Kids can do what the hell they want. If I'm a receiver, like, I'm sorry, I'm not looking to Marcel Reed and A&M as the place that I want to go. Like, that's not where it's going to get me to the next level of and I don't understand it other than, again, you throw a bunch of money at it. Well, that's great. I mean, yes, A&M has a great atmosphere. It does. What they built there is incredible. But at the end of the day, if you're a 5-star and you're trying to go to the NFL, why not go somewhere where you can showcase and improve your draft status?
Well, but the point of that is a lot of the guys that A&M is looking at are guys that were politely or impolitely told, thanks, but no thanks here. Doesn't mean they don't have ability. It means that they may not fit into a culture, and A&M is going to have to give up on the culture part to get talent. And this is why, like,
why not look at Ole Miss? Why not go, oh, my God, what's DJ Lagway doing over there in Florida? Oh, my God, what is Nico doing up in Tennessee? Like,
look at the OU receivers. Like,
yeah.
Like, obviously, they thought they were signing up for Dylan Gabriel, and they got Jackson Arnold and whatever the hell else came out of the tunnel after that. And
whatever Hawkins was. Whatever Hawkins was.
Yeah, whatever the future. According to OU fans, he was the future, and he was going to light us up.
Yeah.
All right, we got some super chats in here, gentlemen. Let's grab some. Back to Texas, $5 super chat from Chris. What's up, fellas? Hate to put it on one guy, but UT covers. All depends on what Quinn we get. If he plays good, we win by 17. Happy birthday, Chance. Hook him with a big emoji at the end. Thank you, Chris, for that. I think that's pretty fair to say. Certainly, Texas can't win by 17 or more if the bad version of Quinn shows up for any serious period of time. But I know we talked about Quinn. I'm sure we'll talk about Quinn a couple more times between now and next week. It does seem, Bo, you mentioned it early in the show. It feels like there's kind of two camps of Texas fans right now. There's like a camp that wants to talk about Quinn, and then there's a camp that just doesn't. They just want to kind of put it out of their brain before this game happens. So,
well, and I think that camp comes down to whether you give Quinn credit for his successes while acknowledging he has had failures, or whether you give Sark and others credit for the successes and the failures are all Quinn's fault. That's basically what the camp comes down to, because Quinn has won games like Alabama. Quinn has had Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship. Quinn has had very good games. Quinn has had good quarters. Quinn has had good halves. Quinn has had some meltdowns with interceptions off tip balls and other things, like not closing out the game against Washington when he was right there at the precipice of it. And if you blame that on Quinn and not the play calling or other things that transpired or Bert Auburn or anything else, then you're never going to come around on Quinn. You've already decided in your head it's the Arch Manning show, and Sark is a bona fide idiot for not playing Arch the entire season. You're either in that camp or you're not, and there is really no middle ground.
No, I'm in the middle ground, okay? I'm a middle ground guy.
There's a lot of gray area there.
Yes, okay? Just because I'm kind of out on Quinn Ewers doesn't mean that I think Sark is an idiot for not playing Arch Manning. However, Bo, I know it wasn't the most exhaustive list, but when you mentioned some of the great things that I'm to give Quinn Ewers credit for, both of those games you mentioned are over a year ago.
Okay.
Okay, the defense rests.
What do you want? He kicked Michigan's ass, and then he'd been hurt the rest of the damn season.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
he's had moments, he's had glimpses of goodness. He's also made some bad throws. I'm not like, I know I'm the Quinn apologist. I get that. And Quinn should be sending me checks when he makes it to the NFL, as much as I've had fun pumping him up. But what I'm saying is I want Arch to come in the game in little packages. I've said it. I want Arch to be the Tim Tebow and Quinn to be the Chris Leak in this year's national championship team. But you can't. You're either. I don't know any way to portray this other than very simply. Quinn's going to be the guy. So either get on the damn train or wait till next year, because just bitching about it and saying Arch should be in isn't going to change what's going to happen on the 21st of December.
Wait a second, Bo. It's that's where I think the gray area comes in. It's not just about bitching about you want somebody else on the train. It's about bitching about the rusted wheels, or it's not riding just right. Yeah. I think the bitching is about the concern that your starting quarterback may not be good enough to get you there. I don't even think it's necessarily about that they think 16 could get them there. It's that their starting quarterback has been shaky since he came off the injury in a really bad way.
But how in every other sentence out of every other Longhorn fan's mouth, acknowledging that Sark has brought this program to heights it hasn't been to in 20 years. Like, recruiting is back to where it should be. Program is where it should be. Culture is where it should be. Defense is amazing. The same people that are dogging Quinn are literally the same fans that were saying Pete Kwiatkowski should be fired and we should hire Gary Patterson 18 months ago. Now all those same people are like, Kwiatkowski's a god. We have to give him a big contract. They go like the wind. If Quinn has a huge day against Clemson, everyone's like, yep, we just needed him to get healthy. Quinn's the guy. Go, Quinn, go. It was just a health issue. But my point is very clear. If you believe in Sark, then you have to believe in his decision-making to ride Quinn. He's not just doing it for loyal. Like, we're past loyalty at this point. We're in the damn playoffs. Like, if he didn't think Quinn was the guy, then the next 2 weeks would be preparing Arch to start the game. And we all know that's not what's happening in practice. Sark believes in Quinn. I believe in Sark. The correlation is go, Quinn, go.
Oh, yeah, I would assume. I mean, I would assume every Texas fan would agree with you there. All right.
I don't think so. Look at our chats.
All right. Let's see. I'm just looking at the starters right now. So right now I'm not looking at the others. ATX Bates, $9.99. There's a few things. One, best wishes to Demo. No kidding. Holy hell. Shout out to Marvion Overshone. If you missed it, it's all the CLs on the right side. After last year's was the ACL on the left side. Now it's ACL, PCL, MCL right side for Overshone. 2, buy or sell, Sark out coaches Dabo.
Buy.
I'd buy it.
If I had to choose between those two, I would say sell. I'm not sold. That doesn't mean I think they're going to lose the game. I'll give Dabo a little love. I don't know that it's out coaching that'll do it. I think Texas will just be better than Clemson.
I'll take the entire Texas staff to outcoach the Clemson staff, because if you give me Kwiatkowski as part of it, I'll take Sark to get created on offense and Kwiatkowski to whoop Clemson's ass on defense.
This Clemson is not the same Clemson of old, but like Dabo as an underdog is still a force to be reckoned with. Regardless.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'd give him the respect. He's been in big games. He beat Saban for one title, and he whipped his ass for another. And it is a different era. You're right, Blake. This is not that kind of team. But he's a pretty damn good coach in the moment.
He is. And one thing is Texas is going to have to clean up the way that they played in that first half, because perennially Dabo teams play very clean football games. Like, they're not going to put themselves in a bad situation. That's just how he coaches. So you're not going to you can't get away with 7 for 95 because they're going to have 3 for 15.
Yeah. 3, Bo looking like a little Dateline to catch a predator in the Panda hat. Yes, we agree with that.
Panda hat's gone. Panda hat has been returned to Razor. He's going to wear it to school tomorrow. I don't know what that means in middle school world, but there you go.
Why don't you take a seat, Bo?
And fellas, I don't know if you know this about ATX Bates, but he is a badass bowler. 4, Quinn's fault. I missed 2 300s bowling last night, 267 and 275. Had the first 8 and first 9 stripes. Wow. ATX Baits. That's impressive. What's the best game y'all have ever bowled in your life?
It's going to be
263.
263. It's a good number, Jason.
And it's my high. Like, I'd never even gotten over 240 before that. It was one magical game.
Yeah.
What you got, Jason?
My best bowling score is the same as my best golf score, 88.
80. Excellent. Blake, do you remember what your best bowling game is?
I think I had a 180 one time. I think that was
180. Chance Mock. Did you ever get it up over 2?
I've been over 2, but I can't tell you what the number is. It's nowhere near 240, but I've been over 2. my problem is I don't know how to bowl, so I just throw it as hard as I can and look up immediately at the deal to see how fast I threw it.
Yeah.
I try to get that 23.5, but then I hit dead ass in the middle, and pins go flying everywhere. But I end up with having to split everything because it goes through too fast right through the middle, and those 2 back pins get split, and that's how I can't score. It sucks.
There it is. I took for 2 semesters. I took a bowling class at A&M just so I could try to get a little bit better and not have to pay for every single game. And all I could get to was 215. I think was my number. So
if it's got a 2 in front of it, you did your job.
Bowl and it was literally maybe I think I've bowled 200 games in my life, like a 203 and a 215, and then nothing else. So the guys that can do it like ATX Baits, that's very cool.
I do think I have the dart bowl enchilada eating record, which if you guys have never had bowling alley enchiladas, I mean, let's
Jason, see, you're going to get me emotional talking about the great RIP to Dart Bowl. Loved that cafe. Oh my God.
I
haven't put my pants in several years now.
But Jason, there's a place on Anderson Lane that has them.
Oh.
It's right by Anderson Mill and Mopac. It's a little hole in the wall. I ate lunch there about a month ago. Yeah, there's like a Starbucks in the shopping center.
Okay.
I mean, it's just one of those crappy strip malls right off Anderson Lane.
I'll follow up.
It's called like La Cocina or something like that. They serve dart bowl enchiladas that come with chopped onions on top. You have to ask for them not to be there if you don't want them.
Okay.
It is absolutely impeccable.
All right. I'm glad we brought it up. Thank you, ATX Baits, for mentioning bowling, because then we got a Dart Bowl story, and then apparently they're making the Dart Bowl enchiladas.
You learn a lot of stuff here on the Outsiders.
The Outsiders has a lot for you. We got a couple other super chats that we will get to. Bo, before we do that, why don't you tell the good folks about Gold and Griff and what they can do for them. Please don't put on a
going back to being serious when I talk about Gold and Griff. If you were watching Monday's show, you saw the email from someone who listened to the show that called Billy with Golden Griff. Has already had him out to do a project, and it was done perfectly. That's what he said in the email that he sent. He already booked a second and a third job through Golden Griff. Right now at the holiday season, now is the time to get those little projects around the house. Be the hero of Christmas. Be the Santa Claus for your significant other. Have that, yard project done, the pergola. Have, some cabinetry work done. Have the TVs that you've been supposed to hung, the pictures, whatever you need. Golden Griff, full-time contractor. This is the secondary thing. This is what he does with his family on the side because he just loves building things. And Billy will obviously hire other people for bigger jobs, but Billy will be on site for the entire job. This isn't something that's getting subbed out by a GC that you never see the contractor. No, Billy will be there the whole time. He will make sure it gets taken care of. He's done work for houses that I've owned. He's done work for friends' houses that I know. And now we have, listeners to the show who've been emailing in about the success of Golden Griff. Give them a call, 733-9789. That's 733-9789. Or just scan that little QR code and it'll take you right to their website.
There you go. All right. Thanks to Gold and Griff and all the other great partners we have on the Outsiders. Brought to you by Poncho Outdoors. Check out ponchooutdoors.com for all the great shirts we always talk about. Over 760 of you in the Specs chat. While we've got a moment, Bo talked about going to Specs to get some brown water. Whatever you need, Specs has got it. Get stocked up. You got 10 days before Texas and Clemson. Go get something orange.
No matter what you're needing, Specs same-day delivery can save the day with our Specs app or online shopping. From world-class wines to hard-to-find spirits and craft beers, to gourmet foods, delicious snacks, and spectacular sweets. It's Specs.
All righty. We do still have a couple of super chats I think we were going to clean off. Let's go to Oscar first with a $9.99. What's up, Oscar? One of our great viewers and fans and chatters. He sent us a lot of money. We appreciate you, Oscar. Chad, you keep trying to downplay the hate. A majority of the people dogging him want Arch in over him. And a lot of those people think Sark cares more about Quinn's draft stock than the team right now. Okay. I'm not going to say you're wrong, Oscar. I guess that may be true. But
Chad, let me try to explain what Oscar's saying in terms that you would make a little more sense. You are the most rational, level-headed Aggie that any of us have ever met. I think Jason would agree. I think Chance would agree. I think Blake would agree. When it comes to when you talk about A&M, if they do it poorly, you say it. But when they do it well, you say it. You don't sugarcoat it. There's a subset of Longhorn fans that understand it. But then there's that other side of the Longhorn fans that all they see is number 16 and think as soon as he steps on the field and lightning bolts shoot out of his ass, Texas is going to win 3 national titles in a row because of his name. And so that they're infatuated with it. The Sims Applewhite thing doesn't carry any weight because Sims was the one that was supposed to shoot lightning bolts, but people hated him because of his name and loved the other guy, even though he kicked puppies, cheated on his wife, and baked bad cookies. Like, that doesn't matter. They still rooted for him.
All right.
He's not going to win 3 championships because of his name. He's going to win 3 championships because he has lightning bolts coming out of his ass.
Oh.
I mean, it is an admirable characteristic. I'm just saying, if you had that skill, would you not share it with the world?
He's going to have to win 2 in 1 year because we've sat 2 years of his eligibility on the bench. So he's going to have to pull some sort of.
But according to Archie, he's gonna stay for 3 more years. That's what Archie
He has
said.
3 left.
Yeah. That would be
But here,
that would be interesting.
This is the thing, and I've seen a couple people say it, and the eyeball test tells you that, we can't go all the way with Quinn. I understand that. Here's where I think gets lost in the weeds. We may be able to say, and I might be able to say, I don't think Quinn right now can go out and win a national championship. He cannot take over a football game and go win it on his own. I don't think at this moment. What he can do is he can lead you and take care of the ball, complete passes that need to be taken with this defense, and we can win. But Sark is looking at those 2 quarterbacks and saying still that Quinn gives this team a better chance to go as far as they can go. That's what Sark is telling me. That doesn't mean that he's thinking Quinn is definitely the guy that can win a national championship. He might not think either of them can right now. But he's saying that Quinn puts you in a better spot. So I think we have to be careful when we talk about it as if Sark's going with Quinn because everybody, he thinks Quinn's the greatest thing in the world. No, he just might think Quinn's the best option at this moment.
Well, look at some of the teams that have won Super Bowls with guys like Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson and others of that ilk. And I'm not saying Quinn Ewers is Brad Johnson or Trent Dilfer, but there's a lot worse things to be than a guy that was drafted in the first round and won a Super Bowl. But my point is, Sark doesn't want Quinn to go win the game. He wants him not to lose it. That's how Sark has been coaching this team from the Michigan game moving forward. And maybe that's due to injury. Maybe that's due to the fact that the light bulb went off and Sark figured out this defense, if we get over 20, this defense ain't giving that much up. Like with, the Georgia game being the exception to prove the rule, I think Sark thinks he can win on defense, and a quarterback that doesn't screw it up, or as Chance put it, doesn't go win the game, just doesn't lose the game.
All right. Thanks again, Bo, for a very timely reference with the Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer. You can't even go Joe Flacco for me? All right?
Joe Flacco with a big arm.
Hey, let the man make a Brad Johnson
Flacco
reference.
can throw a deep ball.
Let the man talk.
I understand. And again, I'll just say the same thing that I've said on Monday and several times. I'm not trying to tell you that Quinn Ewers is bad or a disaster or even not, like, he's well above average. But it's also fair to say that we've been disappointed with his performance for a month now. Okay, both things can be true. Absolutely. And at Texas, what was it? Who said it? Chance, not our standard. All right. a game manager is not our standard. All right. We are a university that should have somebody at that position who can go out and kick ass, not just avoid fucking it up.
I don't want to make this a referendum on Quinn like we seem to have done the last couple shows, but like I listed yet on Monday, I went through the other 10 quarterbacks of the top 10. Name me one other than Dylan Gabriel you would trade Quinn for right now. You can't. There is no – the guy that you're describing, Jason, doesn't exist. This isn't – there's a plethora of great quarterbacks that are just sitting there waiting in the wings, and we just happen to miss on all of them. We took the 5-star guy in Quinn Ewers. The other 5-star guys aren't even doing that. You know who was second to Arch Manning on that Rivals rating list? Nico from Tennessee. Nico makes some amazing plays. He also makes some asinine plays when he throws on the run. There isn't a guy, Jackson Dart's the all-SEC quarterback, and look at his game against Florida. It was like he was single-handedly throwing the game to them in the fourth quarter when it was nut-cutting time. All the quarterbacks of all the teams left, every single one of those quarterbacks has flaws. Yes, Quinn has flaws. Can't throw the deep ball very well. Throws off platform sometimes at the wrong time and gets balls tipped in the air and gets them intercepted. Never looks excited, which I think is an admirable thing for the team, but that's fine. Makes mistakes. Quinn isn't mobile. Well, you know what? Are you trying to tell me Drew Aller from Penn State is this mobile son of a bitch that's like juking everybody like it's Madden? No, he's not. Like the kid from Indiana, you think he's just this dual threat machine? No. Now, Riley Leonard at Notre Dame can run a little bit. Dylan Gabriel can run a little bit. If he's healthy, are we really trying to say Carson Beck is the second coming of Lamar Jackson at this point? No, he's not.
Yeah, and I guess, Bo, it's also fair to say that a lot of the fans would hear everything you just said and say, Bo, we don't want any of those guys. We want that guy who's sitting on the bench wearing number 16.
I agree.
Forget all those guys. I want Army's Bryson Daly. That's the guy who won't turn the damn ball over.
You know what?
Protect the football.
I look forward to Arch Manning time next year. I genuinely do. I'm not anti-Arch. I'm just pro what we have right now. And two, the first time Arch throws an interception, everybody's going to be screaming for KJ Lacey or Trey Owens because it's literally in the DNA of Longhorn fans. If a Longhorn player makes one mistake, you're already looking for the next guy. It's because we have a lot of good guys, and so everybody's just like, screw it, he sucks.
Well, I'm Quinn to win it.
Now, Bo, if there has ever been a Texas quarterback that's going to have slack, it's Arch Manning. It's going to have that Vince Young slack feel to it, maybe even more. I think the first handful of mistakes he makes will all be blamed on someone else.
You know who else had slack until he didn't? Was Chris Sims. Chris Sims had all the slack in the world until he threw those 4 picks against Colorado. And from that moment moving forward, that line was cut and there was no more line, no more slack. And you were either pro Chris or you hated him.
Garrett Gilbert had no slack. Zero.
Different kind
no, another 5-star that came here, and everybody made fun of the fact that he couldn't see.
That is true. All right. We do have a lot of super chats tonight. We do appreciate you guys jumping in with some super chats. Let's get hold on. I missed this one earlier. Chris Bennett, $2 super chat. Hey, Dr. Lou, thoughts on Belichick? You know what, Chris Bennett? Good luck to the mumbly bastard. You see if he can do it in the college. Looks pretty easy, doesn't it, Hoodie? Oh, I can just recruit and get the coach on Saturdays, get my Sundays free. I don't think you're going to do a very good job. They might want to take the light bulb out of the top of that tower. I don't think you can light that sumbitch blue. What do you think of that there, big boy? Yeah.
Well, it's funny because a lot of the chatters have started mentioning Gilbert, another guy that was literally rode out of town and then had a 10-year NFL career. Like, who was wrong?
Is that what we're calling it?
Oh, yeah. That is.
You know what? I'll take your 10 years worth of checks. A hell of a lot more than the ones we get from Poncho.
There's lots of guys who had 10-year NFL careers who were equipment managers and worked at the concession stand
as a rostered NFL athlete.
Roster
You think
NFL.
Garrett Gilbert has, I think, 2 Super Bowl rings, not just one,
All
but
right.
2.
All right.
Career
How many
was doing
touchdown
some
passes
heavy
does he
lifting
have?
there.
Well, but what I'm saying is he was good enough to be on those rosters, and the team thought enough of his ability to keep him on the roster when they were making a playoff run. They thought he was an adequate backup quarterback. What I'm saying is at Texas, you'd have thought the guy didn't start for Thorndale High School the way fans reacted to him when he was young, when he was only a freshman and a sophomore. Texas fans and quarterbacks go together like oil and water because Texas fans expect if Tom Brady played quarterback for Texas, Texas fans would bitch about his immobility, not about
partially because Texas has not had a transcendent quarterback since Colt.
All right, but look, let me give Garrett Gilbert a little bit of credit because nobody will ever give the guy credit. If you want to blame what happened to him here, you blame nobody but Will Muschamp. Because what Will Muschamp did was he took a guy that had never taken a snap under center and he put him under center. I could take any quarterback in the world that has played in under center offenses and put them in the shotgun, and they'll think the world is the greatest thing ever because you're sitting back there, you have more time, you can see. But you take a kid that has been in the shotgun his entire life and you make him go under center, now you've closed the box on him, you made him uncomfortable, he's not picking up his reads as fast, and it all was because Will Muschamp was a head coach in waiting and he wanted to go to a 2-back fucking system. That's why that happened. So, yes, I don't think Garrett Gilbert is great, and his performance here was subpar, but he was put in a really shitty position.
He may have thrown 4 picks in that national championship game, but he did bring them back to within 3 with 6 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
All right, we got.
What are we doing?
I'm not sure. I am not sure. We have taken a weird turn. That is.
I wore 5 hats today, including a panda hat. Like I don't know what's like. This
You know
one's
what, guys?
empty now.
I don't think Shea Morin's got enough credit for what he did at Texas, right?
Man, was
I
it?
think they missed the boat when they didn't put Adam Dunn on the field, right?
Has it already been 5, Bo? I'm terribly sorry. I got to keep up. Okay, 5. Sorry, 5 in one show. My bad. All right. Let's go Big Cheddar here for 10. All this Quinn banter reminds me of the Major Sims debate back when I was at Texas. I don't know if there's a right or wrong. I just want to win, as I'm sure all of OB does. Hook 'em. And Big Cheddar also adds, I like to think of myself as the Chad of Longhorn Nation. You may be the only one, Big Cheddar. All my friends will tell you I'm objective to a fault when it comes to Texas. All right, there you go.
And let me remind all of you people, right now, the smart guys in Vegas, they have Texas as the favorite to win the national championship. Just remember that for all of everybody in the chatter who's out there, the people that put the money where the mouth is thinks that Texas has a better chance of anybody else.
Well, technically, when they opened, we were tied with Oregon, but and Vegas odds can be tilted a little bit sometimes because they know more action is going to go. Like they know people, if they lower the odds on Texas, they're going to get a lot of action that helps balance some of the other teams. But you're right, Chance, 100%. Vegas thinks Texas and Oregon are the 2 best teams in the country. Unfortunately, if that plays out, they're going to play each other in a semifinal game. That will be the de facto 2 best teams, according to Vegas, playing for the right to play Georgia, who has a path of air.
By the way, I like
top 12 goes.
This setup is great. ATX Bates, $4.99. Buy or sell if Quinn won a natty and was the MVP. Texas fans would rather have Arch next year versus Quinn returning. And yes, I know if Quinn did all that, buy.
Bye.
Yes. Yeah.
Bye.
Absolutely.
If Quinn wins the natty, look, he's leaving either way. But if you don't, you think he's coming back after winning the natty?
But regardless of that, even if he was coming back,
here, this is a fun question, okay? Crystal ball me.
Yes.
1 year from today, what is Quinn Ewers doing?
Playing in the NFL.
Playing in the NFL.
Playing in the NFL?
He's on a roster in the NFL.
He's on a roster in the NFL.
Who used Bo's phrase, a rostered NFL.
He's dropping by the second. He's on a practice squad in the NFL.
He could have gone to the NFL a year ago, but came back because, I believe, had not really improved or proven his draft stock yet. Has he done that so far? Has he done anything?
No, but I think he also knows he risks hurting himself more if he comes back another year than if he doesn't. I think people know where he's at right now. I think NFL scouts know where they got him slotted, and there's nothing he can do next year that's going to improve it, only hurt it. So I think his best thing is
I think something that we haven't talked about, but we talked about at the beginning of the year, was Quinn actually shedding weight and getting more mobile before this season may have been a precursor to some of the injuries. I think he'll get in the NFL, and they're going to try to throw 15 pounds on him. They're going to try. He is never going to be a runner. He is never going to be a mobile quarterback at the NFL level. They're going to bulk him up a little more, tell him to be stationary, and who knows what happens. I'm not saying he's going to go be an NFL Pro Bowler, but he will be. He will, whether or not he's actually starting for a team, I don't think so his first year. But there's a lot of rookies that don't start their first year at the quarterback position when you're drafted in the second or third round, unless you're the damn Titans and you start Will Levis, who sucks. That's a different conversation for a different day.
Oh, Will Levis.
If Quinn gets drafted by the right team and gets in a system where he can learn for a couple years, I think Quinn could be an exceptional NFL quarterback still. And you watch some, and I think Chance would agree with me because I know we've had these conversations. Some of the throws he can make are throws other QBs in the NFL can't. He can throw off platform or off movement and hit guys in stride much better than a lot of the guys in the NFL. Now, he can't throw some of the other passes they can throw with exceptional accuracy, but like with proper tutelage at the NFL level, I think Quinn Ewers will be just fine.
And with proper offensive line play.
Well, Quinn, if you're listening, Bo has set the bar. Garrett Gilbert played 10 years and won 2 Super Bowl rings. So anything less than that.
That's it.
Anything less than that.
You know what? I'll trade my athletic endeavors for whatever Garrett Gilbert did any day of the week.
And now that bar has been set.
I mean, I made an all-district team.
We're just setting all kinds of weird bars tonight. All right. Thanks to everybody for jumping in tonight. We got a couple other super chats. We're going to pick our picker. Get those picks in. Pick Army, Navy, and 2 NFL games. If you get all 3 right, got to go 3-0 to get that free poncho shirt. Only one person's done it. You're going to try to be the second. Get those picks in, and we will pick our picker coming up. Right now, though, Chance is going to tell you about Arch. No, not that Arch. The other Arch. The one that we can report on some productivity because, you know, they've been given an opportunity. I shouldn't have said it that way. Chance, tell them about Arch Public.
No, Arch has been good. I told you guys on Monday. Look, we had 2 bad trades in a row, and they were rough. They were a little over 1.49% and a little over 3.5% because it works on the Martindale theory. But like I told you, I wasn't worried about it. Why was I not worried about it? Because I knew that the algorithm works. And what did it do today? It popped off an 8.6% gain. So we made back everything, and we're +4 over the last week and a half. That's what Arch does. They use the algorithm. It's your money. It's your account. All they do is provide the software and the algorithm that puts you in a position to make the most with your money. It's a beautiful program. Arch Public, our guys here, this was what we did back in the month of October. Look at those gains right there, plus 21% in October. I'm back up over 40% since May. If it's something that interests you, something you want to talk about, all you got to do is go visit our friends at Arch Public, scan that QR code, or if you just shoot me a message on the X world, Twitter, whatever it's called, just shoot me a message over there, and I'll get you hooked up with Tillman and Andrew. See if it's for you. It's always worth the conversation. The guys over at Arch Public.
All right. Hope you're enjoying the Outsiders tonight. We got a couple other super chats. Also, our man Jason does have a dick move of the week to talk about. Let's see if we can clean these up first. Chris with a $9.99 wish list from the portal, the receiver from NC State, and a punter from Australia. Chris, they definitely need to address punter. No doubt. No doubt. And it seems like they are going to do that. I would have to look up the NC State guy you're talking about. And punter from Australia. There's a lot of those. But yes, that's probably a good idea for Texas in the portal. Portal closes on the 28th for those that don't know. Oscar, $4.99. This whole argument relies on Arch being able to just kick ass and take over. I missed this whole part where Arch is a ready to go product.
Well, I think
Have you ever seen the movie Braveheart? Like Arch Manning is Braveheart, Superman, and Iron Man rolled into one. If you ask the Texas Longhorn, half the Texas Longhorn fan base.
Yeah, I mean, and
he does stand up better than Jerry Seinfeld. He's better looking than
That's a low bar.
Sidney Sweeney. It doesn't matter.
Whoa! Yeah,
Wow,
I just think it's weird, man. I think it's a little strange and a little disingenuous to play that extreme game, to do no matter what goes wrong, why does everybody want to blame Quinn Ewers, acting like Quinn never does anything wrong?
No.
And then doing what you did. Hang on. Doing what you just did, Bo, which is, man, he's the new flashy thing, and I can't believe people think he could actually be really good. We've seen him play, and he looks like he could be pretty damn good. I mean, can't all that be true?
No, both can be true. Arch is the future. And Arch was the number one quarterback in the country for a reason, and Arch has the lineage. But saying because we saw him throw some deep balls against a Mississippi State team and a ULM team where twice the safety and the cornerback ran into each other in the middle of the damn field. Well, you know what? It's not that hard to throw a deep ball to somebody that's open by 15 yards. He makes some plays. He does. And I think Arch over time will be great. But if you watched the games, Arch held on to the ball too long. He radar locks and tunnels up visions on one receiver. And I don't think he's ready for prime time. I think he's ready for bits of prime time, but I don't think he's ready to do everything else that it takes to be the quarterback, including leading 84 other guys into battle every week, to be stoic on the sideline, to do all the other things that the leader of a football team has to do. And I don't think Arch is ready yet. Could I be wrong? Yeah, I'm just some dumbass that talks on the YouTube box sometimes. We're all
Jason. And by the way, Bo, on behalf of a lot of people that are in the chat right now, so they don't have to type it, it is tough to throw those deep balls. Just ask Quinn. Jason, go ahead.
Look, I want to say, and I think I can say this with full sincerity, that even if Arch Manning never existed or he had gone to Ole Miss, I'd still be disappointed with the way Quinn Ewers has played the last month, and I would not be quiet about it. All right?
But would you be asking for Trey Owens to be the starter?
Well, okay, here, let me ask you this, all right, for the people to the super chat who said how do we know he's a ready-to-go product? When Quinn Ewers was shipped here from Ohio State after playing, 4 snaps for the Buckeyes, I didn't hear anybody pounding the table saying Hudson Card has a year's experience in this system, okay? We were pretty quick to say, I bet Quinn Ewers is ready to go.
And what has he done? We went to the damn playoffs last year, and we're in the playoffs this year. Yes, wow. Has he been perfect? No, but the results, and you can say game manager, whatever, watch the throws in the game. Go back and watch the Georgia game. Go watch the entire game where he threw for 360 yards with 6 drops. He would have had over 470 yards of passing if the 5-star receivers just caught the damn ball. I mean, Matthew Golden is going to play in the NFL, and I guarantee you if you had him and you asked him if he was going to catch that ball in the end zone, yes, it was a tough catch. Matthew Golden has made much tougher catches and expects to make that catch. He dropped the ball, not on purpose, but Quinn threw it in the only place that Matthew Golden can catch it, and then it drops. And somehow, if you ask half the fan base, it's Quinn's fault for not making the throw.
Well, and it's definitely, I mean, obviously it's inaccurate to just talk about, and we've been pointing this out all week, because there are those fans, hopefully it's not that many, but there are those fans that are trying to make that entire game about Arch. We already talked about it on Monday. We're talking about it tonight, about Arch, about Quinn. It's just, that's not – there was so much in that game.
You'd be better off blaming the kicker, to be quite honest.
Well,
the kicker. If the kicker hits one kick, that's one thing. But, I mean, Bo talks about the drop. There's a lot of stuff that's there. Here's the other big question, guys, that if I'm a Texas fan, maybe part of what makes you feel good here is not only the run you've been on, not only the record overall, but could we just be seeing a team that needs to figure out a Georgia issue? But against everybody else, they're going to be all right. They're about to play a team that's the 12 seed. And then if they win, they're going to play the team that's supposed to be the 11 seed in a 12-team playoff. is it possible that when they're not playing those dogs, they're going to be okay?
Well, and
Yes, absolutely. They're going to be okay.
And I'm sorry, I know I'm beating a dead horse. We just lost in overtime. Like, it's not like the first game Georgia kicked our ass. No dispute.
No, they didn't. Y'all don't need to keep saying that. They didn't.
The first half was an ass kicking.
That ain't a game. They beat you 30-15, and you could have had a drive to tie the damn game. That's not getting your ass kicked.
No, the
you
first
don't need
half
to say
of the
that.
Georgia game, when we were down 23-3, we got our ass kicked for a half.
Okay, and then you came back, and then that get
By the by, I vaguely
beat.
remember who was at quarterback when we came back. Oh, wait, I don't. Jason, maybe you can fill me in after I get done with this diatribe. But we lost in overtime in a game where we had 2 missed field goals, gave up a stupid-ass fake punt. A variety of other things happened. And yes, you could flip it the other way and say Georgia lost their starting quarterback, although I might contend the guy that came in was better suited for that particular moment than where Carson Beck was at, because he was seeing ghosts with the Texas defense after 6 quarters of the defense kicking his ass.
That was well done, Blake. Well done.
If the reverse happens, does Texas win that game?
Huh?
If the reverse had happened, does Texas win that game?
Oh, if it was Quinn that hurt his elbow and Arch comes in? I hope so.
You bet they do.
I mean, I maybe. But what I'm saying is we lost in overtime. By most accounts, the de facto second seed, like everybody, second favorite behind third favorite behind Texas and Oregon is Georgia. We lost in Atlanta to Georgia in overtime. We didn't go out and stumble. We didn't look like, when Wisconsin made the Big Ten championship, another archaic reference, like 3 years ago when Wisconsin got the Big Ten championship and was down 45-0 at the half. No, this wasn't one of those championship games.
Yes, look, I'm not trying to send Quinn Ewers to the knacker, all right? I'm just telling you that as of right now, his legacy is a guy who got Texas to the semifinal and then couldn't do it in the fourth quarter versus Washington, all right? And in the SEC championship game, couldn't do it in the red zone and regulation, and then couldn't do it the first possession of overtime. That's what his legacy is right now. He has the chance to prove me wrong, but I'm not mad at him. I'm just telling you that there's the standard is up here. It's not here. It's up here.
There you go. A lot of standard talk tonight.
Having gone to Texas in the late 90s, having gone to Texas in the late 90s and seen the quarterback lineage after Chance and Vince and Colt and what came for the next 15 years.
Yes.
I'm very satisfied with what we have right now.
I am an entitled asshole Texas fan. Let me be this way. Okay? Let me be the worst kind of person.
Speaking of the standard, S. Roan says for $5, Peter the Great Gardere is the only true great Texas quarterback. 4-0. 4-0. He wants to remind everybody. Yes.
Hey, and JS says nobody likes me. Well, JS I've been dealing with my whole damn life. So
it's not true, JS. It's not true. $4.99 from Matthew. 24 Quinn. Better than 24 Arch. 25 Arch will be better than 24 Quinn. That being said, use him heavy in the red zone. That's a lot of good thoughts put together, Matthew. I like that. That's one too. Let's sort of come back to a 10 days till the game discussion. We talked about this, guys. We didn't see it in Atlanta. Do you think we're going to see some Arch Manning plays that involve a little bit of development, Chance Mock? Do you think we're going to see a little bit of not just run Arch, but some run pass option Arch? Are we going to see pull that ball back and maybe Gunnar Helm is wide open on one of those red zone plays? Do you think that may be coming against Clemson?
I'd like to think so. I think we have culminated to this point that we're now in the playoffs. We're hosting a game in DKR, first playoffs in the history of college football, and we have a home game at DKR, which is pretty damn cool. So we've worked really hard, and each week I feel like we keep saying offensively, is he going to open it up more? Open it up more. We were just holding stuff. We don't need to use stuff. Well, so now we have to go back and say, okay, is he holding stuff back, or would he have not have used it in the Georgia game to go win an SEC championship? And maybe it turned out well. Or is that just the identity of this football team? So, Chad, to answer your question, well, I'd love to say he needs to have Arch with more than just coming in to run a zone read. He needs to have the opportunity to throw the ball downfield and really make the defense feel uncomfortable right there. But do I believe that he'll do that? I don't know, because he hasn't shown the desire to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
and Chance,
go ahead,
maybe let me ask you this from a different perspective. There's a potential when you look at the Vegas line and the way this game sets up, where it may not happen in the Clemson game unless it needs to happen. If Texas exerts their dominance early, and I'm not trying to be myopic, Clemson can make this a football game. But if this just happens to be one of the games where Texas gets off to a hot start, there'd be no reason to show that card. You could hold that back until if Arizona State game gets hinky, or the game that it probably most likely comes out, the Oregon game, where now you come out with it swinging right away. I mean, I want to see a play where Quinn and Arch are both on the field at the same time. I don't want Quinn to get hurt, but, sprint Arch out at receiver and throw a bubble screen and then have Quinn run the wheel route that nobody sees coming, and it's a free touchdown. Like, there are some ways that creative Sark can get in the lab and use those two in conjunction with each other.
Yeah. Jason, how about Arch on punt block? Because I think he might figure out if the punter's hurt. Like, I think Arch would know, right? Let's get 16 out there for that play.
Seems like at least somebody on the sideline should know that if the punter cannot kick the ball, we should be ready for a fake.
Probably.
It's a good thing Jeff Banks can recruit.
Also, I would
fireable offense and Bill
Arch definitely would have covered one of those 2 fumbles on the last drive, no doubt.
Yes, exactly.
If I could have gotten Arch on the Cowboys punt coverage team on Monday night, that would have been tremendous. All right.
Good Lord, have mercy. That was one too. Like, you think about those folks, and we have plenty of them that watch, like, that are Longhorn Cowboy people. To watch those 2 moments on a punt play, like, you talk about drinking heavily. Good grief.
Anytime you see Leon Lett coming back into the Twitter feed, it's never good for the Cowboys.
Yeah, like, I needed that. Like, Jason and I needed that reminder. Jason, you remember Leon, right? You're old enough for that.
I was a very young child, but yes, it was a terrible Thanksgiving.
Just terrible. And the other thing, guys, that we'll talk about before this game, it's a simple thing to say, but Texas running against Georgia, 1.1 yards. And against everybody else, it's 4.9. Finding that running game again, getting Wisner going again, maybe it's the other 2 guys as well. That's going to be huge for Texas, because just they completely bogged down against Georgia twice, but they've run pretty well. Not awesome against everybody, but 4.9 a carry. You're right around 5 yards. You can do a lot of business that way. I think we're going to see a better Texas run game as well. What's Clemson against? What I say they are against the run? 73 in the country against the run.
Everybody gave prayers to DeMarvion Overshown. Let's throw a few out there to Jonathan Brooks too.
Yes,
because you never want to see the same knee go non-contact.
Ugh.
Right after he just worked his ass off to get back on the field. And also, I know you drafted in the 2nd round, Panthers, but how are you running him out there that like some of that has to fall on the Panthers training staff, that he was out a little earlier than he probably should have been. Like, I'm sorry, but you don't see the ACL re-pop that quickly, non-contact, unless, I don't know, it just seemed a little off.
I think it's more proof that he made the right decision to jump into the NFL for sure. Because if that had happened again in college, his draft stock would have just completely tanked.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I didn't think about it until just now. That sucks. Those 2 teams are about to get together. It was going to be Jonathan Brooks on one side and Overshown on the other, and they both get hurt in the span of 2 weeks. That sucks. So yeah, hope both those guys get better very, very quickly. All right. Before we forget, let's pick our picker. I'm seeing 4 different sets of picks in there. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Bo, since you went one more in hats tonight with 5, you pick between 1 through 4. What do you want?
I think somehow, since my Brownwater inspired Quinn Ewers rants carried half the day, unfortunately, because it wasn't the show I was envisioning. Let's go with 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and that god awful commercial Quinn makes with the lawyer dude.
Oh, I see what you did there. Okay, going with the 4s. All right, so
4, 4, 4, 4, 4.
I thought he was going to go for Quinn's number 3, but
no. I was going. If we're going to be annoying, let's be all the way annoying.
I don't know if this is the NBA player or not, but if it is, what up, Brent? And even if it's not, what up, Brent? Laying the points with Army, going San Francisco as a favorite, and the Commanders game over 43.5. We got all that, Blake? Got it all jotted down? Beautiful. There you go. Brent, best of luck. If you go 3-0, you're going to get the poncho shirt of your choice, and JS just throws it in. Yes, 4-4-4.
Hey, Blake, who were the chatter sticks? I got to put them in this spreadsheet.
By the way, I got them.
By the way, fellas, when y'all watch those 4 spots, I have the same thought every time. I play a game called Who's the Worst Actor, and it's a lot of fun. Like, go back and forth to try to figure out if it's Quinn or if it's the 4 guy, because they're both so clearly like looking 8 feet off of the other's eye. They're reading cards. They're both really awkward. That's the enjoyment I get out of those spots now.
Well, when people can watch those commercials and say Brian Bosworth is the best actor going, like that should tell you the quality of everyone else involved.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it Jeff Davis? I mean, now we probably shouldn't say names, but he's an injury lawyer, right? Like an ambulance chaser.
Yeah.
Let Jonathan Brooks call him. Tell him that Bo is already diagnosed that you came back too quick. All right, and they should have to pay you Saquon money today because of what they did to you.
As good a guy as Jonathan Brooks is, I'm all for it. Jeff Davis, Adam Lowy, whoever we got to find. One of y'all go get Jonathan Brooks some money.
All right, we have crossed over the 10 o'clock spot. We're just about to head towards the door. But before we do, I think Jason Dick has a Dick move of the week that he would like to discuss. What do you got, Jason?
You can put it on the cutting room floor, but it's no problem. Congress. What the hell, man? I know we don't talk a lot of politics on this program, and maybe we should. I would do it over another Quinn versus Arch show. But now two different incidents. Specifically, let me get these names right. From House of Representatives, Congressman Mike Collins represents the state of Georgia, took time on the floor of the nation's capital, I believe this was yesterday, to say that Texas should be sent back to the Big 12, that Georgia has humbled them twice now this season, and that they should be evicted from the SEC and sent back to the Big 12. And then I'm going to say was one-upped today. Have you guys seen this? Ohio State Representative Josh Williams has introduced a bill that would make it a felony to plant a flag at the horseshoe. All right? If the other team beats the Buckeyes and tries to plant a flag, felony, okay? Not a misdemeanor. I'm against flag planting. I don't really dig on that. Act like you've been there before. But I don't know. You guys been around lately? It's not like the nation has bigger problems that we have Congress that it could be working on.
I think it's worth doing it for the felony now. I think somebody one of the 85.
What is the penalty?
Roster?
Like,
just take one.
You know, Austin has kind of a homeless thing, and I'm not trying to get political, but if you made that rule here, you'd have like 175 bums planting a flag in the middle of DKR just to get the 3 hots and a cot on a regular basis.
Dick move, Congress. Dick move.
Wasn't one of them the state rep, though? Like, the Georgia guy was just pandering. Like, that's just him being like the Oklahoma guy or Ohio guy really meant it. Like, he's
just butthurt. Yeah.
That's oh god. Yeah.
Ohio State fans the worst.
Yeah, Jason, for the first time in Dick Move of the Week history, I think everybody's just on a nod. Like, yep, yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, it's like, I don't know what else to add. That is insanity. That's just.
Well, is that the first time though you've ever heard the proclamation by Mike Collins?
I honestly had not heard about that.
No. They do the proclamations after every national championship game or whatever, and they try to put it in the. That's how they pander their constituents, because then they put it in the record, and so it goes on the record, and then they send them a rolled up pretty paper script of where it was they were recognized at the house. Look, it's the silliest thing ever.
I'm all for having a good time goofing off at work. All right, when they let me do the school announcements at Round Rock High, it was like an open mic day for your guy. All right, this is Congress. You're in the Capitol, okay?
Yeah.
Joke around in the break room.
Yeah, you're in that situation. Like I always got frustrated, and I don't know if they do that, if they're going to keep doing this. Like when ESPN would do here's what the president's March Madness bracket looks like, and the president would take time out of his day to tell us about it. It would annoy me a little bit, but I thought, okay, well, they carved out that time, right? It's not like in the middle of a meeting at the Oval Office, he jumps up and does that. We're talking about on the floor of Congress during Congress time. I don't know if that's what they call it. Congress time.
Hey,
it's Congress time.
If you want entertainment, if you want pure entertainment, go look up Sheila Jackson Lee's proclamation about the Astros. And all you can tell is she's giving this great proclamation about this team that she loves, and she mispronounces half the players' names. It's like she hasn't watched a game. She goes, and Jose Altuve.
Oh, God. That's even worse, right? Even worse. You can't even focus on the thing you're doing that's taking us out of focus. That makes no sense.
Jason, before we leave, kudos to you for getting to do the Round Rock High School announcements. The only time I ever spent in that room with the microphone was when I was getting detained in the principal's office. So kudos to you for doing good things in Doc Russell's office.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right, before we get out of here, let's talk about one more hunk of good stuff, Bo, and that is the simple, beautiful word of vacation. Tell them about Engage Vacations.
I realized I was wearing ski hats earlier because it was 38 degrees outside this morning and it was cold. Now is the time to book your adventure where it's not cold. Book it now for June, July, August. Save money. Get the spot lined up. Get all your excursions planned. Get your dinners taken care of. Engage Vacations, 922-3322. Call Chad and his team at Engage, and they'll get it all set up. Whether it's a Disney trip with the kids, whether it's a cruise, whether it's Europe, whether it's Fiji, whether it's the Caribbean, anywhere in Mexico, Engage Vacations can help you put it down right now. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can give a Christmas present while you buy the others. You can give a Christmas present where you put a 10% deposit down for the hotel. And you can say, honey, we're going to Cancun in July. Merry Christmas. Trust me, winning idea, Engage Vacations, 922-3322.
That's a hell of an idea is what that is.
I'm telling you.
Well done. Bo Edge, ladies and gentlemen, Engage Vacations. Thanks to all of our great partners here on The Outsiders. Thanks to Blake, the super producer, for jumping in with us this week. We made our picks earlier. We've got our picker ready to roll for the week. And best of luck to Brent Berry for jumping in. I hope Tony Parker didn't take your wife. Was it Brent Berry?
No, you're correct. You're correct.
Yeah,
yes,
right?
that is right.
Shots fired. Yeah.
I was going to make fun of him for wearing the pullover during the slam dunk championship, but you just went right for the
jugular.
Yeah.
Right for the jugular. All right, that'll about do it. Thank y'all for liking, subscribing, and getting the notifications. Remember, we are The Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho. Check out some of the great stuff today. I'll throw those flannels up again because it just reminds you that get a little nippy out there, and especially if you got somebody in your life that loves to go out there and just goes out there to see about the ducks, goes out there to check on those deer, goes out there to hunt the stuff down. Maybe they like to go fish. These are the kind of shirts they might want to wear. Just saying. Look at my man with his ammo in the secret pocket. Some of us don't put ammo in the secret pocket. Some of us do. You know what I mean? And that's what you got. PonchoOutdoors.com. Mention The Outsiders or Orange Bloods Live when you place your order, and get that great shirt, and you put whatever the hell you want in that secret pocket. It's a magical, magical thing. All right. Anybody else got any business before we get out of here? Jason,
get out of here, Chad. I'll direct people to Twitter and go look at what Xavier Legette had for Thanksgiving. That's all I'm going to say. Go look it up.
Wow.
Okay. So, who do I look up? Do I look up Xavier Legette, or is there someone?
Xavier Legette. Look him up.
I'm going to look that up.
Raccoons.
Oh, wow. Jason, do you have a 20-minute proclamation that involves Arch Manning that could round out the show tonight?
No. All right. I just I want to play the quarterback that gives us the best chance to win, and we haven't debated who that is even a little bit, guys.
Oh, wow.
Not
Just
even.
Hey,
Not
let's
even.
make I will make a moratorium that I will not bring up the quarterback position the entire Monday show.
All right. Monday at 8:30, we will be back. No game this weekend because, a little extra time. It's like Thanksgiving. It's like the Thanksgiving break for an NFL team. We're still 10 days away. So on next Wednesday's show, we'll make our pick for the Texas Clemson game and all that good stuff. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your non-college football weekend other than Army-Navy. Go USA. Enjoy the NFL action. Chance, best of luck to your Bills in a big-time game against the Detroit Lions. Can't wait to see that Super Bowl preview, possibly there, Chance Mock. What do you think? Huh?
That's the Super Bowl that I want. It may not be the Super Bowl America wants, but it might be the Super Bowl America wants. I think it's going to be a great weekend. Looking forward to it.
Let me tell you what. Where's Super Bowl this year? Anybody know?
Atlanta.
Is it really?
Atlanta has the national championship and the Super Bowl?
No, yeah, that's right. Atlanta has the Natty.
They got the rest of us.
Wherever the Super Bowl is, Super Bowl 59, I think, is coming up. If it's Buffalo and Detroit, you talk about a Super Bowl where you want to be tailgating.
Oh, it's in
New Orleans.
New Orleans? Oh, my God. If we got Bills Mafia and Lions fans in the Big Easy, are you kidding me? Do you know how many Chance? Do you know how many hand grenades those two fan bases will consume in 2 weeks' time?
Oh, it'll be phenomenal. Do you know how many tables will give their lives that entire week?
Hey, if y'all ever, for everybody that's been there, like those cool, down there Bourbon Street with the balconies and stuff, they'll jump off those balconies onto tables.
Oh yeah.
The problem with that, though, Chad, is underneath the table is Bourbon Street. And as somebody who's fallen down drunk on Bourbon Street, you don't want to be on that. You want to keep feet only.
You're saying
it's never the same after slipping on Bourbon Street.
You're saying Bourbon Street's going to fight back in a lot of ways?
It's not,
Bourbon Street is gross. It's fun as hell, but you don't want to be like, touching Bourbon Street with any part of your body.
I remember angrily cursing the people who were just peeing on Bourbon Street, even though 3 hours earlier I had peed on Bourbon Street.
I thought that was what you were supposed to do when you got to Bourbon Street. Like everybody's peeing on Bourbon Street.
All right. Sorry for that late sidebar. As you can tell, Chance Mock's already gone, so why don't we do it too? Until Monday at 8:30, we are the Outsiders, and we are legitimately